Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to replace your transmission fluid in '05 Jaguar S Type. First thing you want to do is find your plug. It's going to be right in the middle of the transmission pan, like so. So you're going to need a 10mm Allen wrench socket, or Allen wrench. It doesn't have to be a socket set. Just plug it in there. Unscrew it, drain it. Once it's all drained, plug it back, tighten it good. You're not going to need it. Unplug it again. Then you're going to go to the side of the transmission on the passenger side. There's going to be a plug right there. That's the fuel plug. Now you're going to be, there's a limited space between here and the plug, so you're going to need either buy a special tool or do like me, which I went in and created my own. So let me step out and show you how I did that. Meanwhile, I'll show you the transmission fluid you're going to need. This fluid is one I've been using for Jaguars, BMWs, and some other German made cars. I've been using it for years, never had issues with it. It's compatible. This one you could find on eBay for about $65. And I believe it's a gallon. It's about 5 quarts. Alright, so let's go over here. So this is what you're gonna need. You're either gonna need a set of these, and this is the 8mm one, so that's one option. Or if you have an Allen wrench like this, what you're gonna want to do is take a tool like this and cut just enough to where you could fit in between the frame and the plug. And then once you have that, I'll show you what to do next. But with this one, if you do happen to have one of these, what you do is you put it back, you put it on one of these presses, and then you're gonna need one of these tools, and make sure it's a heavy tool. It's not something that's gonna bend while you bang on it with a hammer, and make sure that also that it fits right through the hole. So you're going to just tap it with a hammer, heavy duty hammer preferably, and it's eventually going to pop out, and this is what you're going to get. So that came out of this. I plan to put it back once I'm done. So now once you have this, you go back in, and I'll show you. So this is 8mm. So what you want to do is grab yourself a 8mm wrench like this, because you're going to need, and I'll show you how. So go ahead and take your made tool and plug it in there. Now it's in there. Now you're going to take your wrench and put it in there like this, like so. Now this wrench is not too of a heavy duty, so what you're going to want to do, since this plug is tight, you're going to want to get leverage with a bigger wrench. So what you do is you go put it inside, go as high as you can so you don't bend your wrench, the smaller wrench, and then just boom, turn it. For this one, I've loosened it earlier, so it does take a little more effort than that. Okay, so once this plug is out, you're gonna want to take it all the way out. Oh yes, and of course you're gonna have to take your tool out before you take this plug out. It's not gonna come out. It won't give it enough space. So just take that tool out, and then take this plug out. Now that's what the drain plug's going to look like. Now what I do is I put in the same amount as it comes out. So you don't need to test it or anything. So just whatever comes out of here, you measure it with a quart of oil, empty quart of oil, or if you have a 5-gallon, just like the one I showed you, empty, just pour whatever contents here into that bottle, and I'll show you a trick. Let me see if right on the side of the container you'll notice that it has numbers on there. That's quarts. So just drain whatever you take out of the transmission, whatever drain, and pour it into one of these empty ones if you have it. It doesn't have to be a transmission one. An empty oil container would work, and then just fill it out. If it fills up all the way to the 4, that means you got 4 quarts going in. From here to here, it's another quart, so that's 5. So whatever measurement you get from that, you pour back in. Now it's not going to work if your transmission had a leak, because at that point you're not going to be sure how much amount of fluid you lost. So at that point you're going to have the vehicle leveled, because it must be leveled. And once you are ready to plug it, you probably pour about maybe 2 quarts of oil. Once you put 2 quarts of oil, you turn on the car, let it warm up for about 10 minutes. And then continue putting oil until you notice oil dripping little by little. Once it's dripping just little by little, that means that it's full, that it's at max capacity. But remember, the car must be leveled. It can't be jacked on one side and not on the other. It has to, and it can be leveled. It has to be leveled. It can't be jacked on both front, and then it's going to tilt towards the back, and you're going to get fluid coming back instead of being leveled with the pan. So it has to be leveled. Unfortunately, you must have either on a hoist or 4 wheels on jacks evenly. And I think that's it. So any other questions? Oh yes, and let me show you the pump to use with this transmission fill. It's a pump that I use for many jobs. It's very cheap. You find it at Harbor Freight Tools. It's this one right here. I'll show you how to use it. So what you want to do is get yourself a pump like this. They sell this at Harbor Freight Tools for about $7. So you'll see it says N. The end hose is going to go to your bottle right there, and your out hose, which is the liquid's coming in and then it's coming out of this hose. The other end you plug in to your fuel plug. It goes in right there. I'll show you. Right there. Now you gotta make sure that if this pipe's hot, you keep the tube out of the way of the pipe. You might want to do this while it's cold, but again, if you do have a leak in the transmission and need to pour the maximum capacity, you are going to have the car on. This is going to get hot, so be careful with that. You might want to put something to hold the hose down and keep it from coming out. And that's it. If you guys have any questions, call. Well, I don't necessarily have my number there anymore, but you could post a comment on there and I'll try to see if I could get back to you in a timely manner. Alright guys, I do it all. Thanks.